This is a must. 1, to be a good role model. 2, to realize that you deserve as well. And 3, to be the best you can be for everyone else around you if you don't like self-care. Today, it's your birthday. Not sure what that means? Let us introduce you to this powerful concept and our community. We are Helene and Christina, and we are on a mission to empower, teach, and remind women to celebrate themselves. Combined, we have over 30 years experience as therapists in private practice.
We come to you not as therapists, but rather to women in this life stage with you, your friends. Our podcast promises to talk about the hard or uncomfortable topics in a way to empower you, laugh along the way as part of healing, and find joy in life. What sets us apart? We leave you with gifts with each episode. Now that we're friends, let's make this official. We would love to help start your Thursday mornings, so make sure you follow the show wherever you listen and sign up for our free newsletter at your birthday podcast to receive the episode in your inbox weekly.
Friends, welcome back to the show. Helene and I are so glad you are here today because we are diving into a topic that's often overlooked called gifting to yourself. We live in a world where giving to others is celebrated, and we totally think that's beautiful and we love gifting to others. But when was the last time you stopped and thought about what it looks like to give something to yourself? Today, we're going to explore why that matters, what it could look like, and how you can start gifting to yourself in ways that feel intentional and nourishing. As always, grab your beverage of choice, coffee this morning for me, get cozy, and raise the volume because you matter. And let's get ready to smile while screaming, hell yeah, by the end of this episode. Additionally, I'm going to toss in a little teaser here that this episode is so near and dear to our hearts because we are in the midst of creating our first course for you all that is all about gifting to yourself.
Yeah.
We can't wait.
And let's be real for a moment. Like Christina said, many of us are givers. We show up for our families, our friends, our jobs, our community. But here's the catch. If you are constantly pouring and never filling back up, eventually you're going to run on empty.
Mm-hmm.
Gifting yourself is not about being selfish. It's all about being sustainable.
Yeah.
When you give yourself care, rest, and joy, you're not only replenishing your own energy, you're making it possible to show up with more love and generosity for others. Now, if you've been hanging out with us, you know I'm the visual person. So think of it like this. When the battery on your phone gets low, you don't just keep running apps and hoping it works. You plug it in. Gifting to yourself, it's your charger. So let's go. Ooh, I'm
I
excited for this.
love that visual. I love that.
Isn't it? I love that.
One of my favorite things when I'm talking about this with patients is to go through like the 5 love languages. Everybody knows their top 2 love languages, or I shouldn't say everybody, majority of people do. So if you don't, go find the 5 love languages, do the free online quiz, and then you'll know that about yourself. But I always tell patients, we do that quiz with the idea that we expect our partner to do those things, right?
Right. Yes.
And then I always say to them, are you modeling it by doing it to yourself? What are your love languages?
Yeah.
And how are you caring for yourself? And here's a teaser. People get super awkward. If there's this physical touch, they're like, what do I do? And I was like, you know what you do, girlfriend. You have. And they're like, I'm like,
Go back to the episode of The Gift of Knowing Yourself.
sexuality with Dr. Laura, right?
Yeah. Go back to Dr. Laura if you need any support.
But absolutely, you can love yourself in every way on those.
Yeah.
Every way on those. Yeah. I mean, mine's gifts and acts of service. So there's times I buy myself treats.
I love that you said, if you're familiar with the Gifts of 5 Love Languages, there's a free quiz online, knowing your top 1 or 2. But if you're not familiar with it and you're like, okay, girls, don't give me another thing to do. We got you right here, right? We are all about gifting you. So by the end of our podcast, episode, you walk away with gifts, information, and things that you can immediately start doing. So, we're going to give you some ideas of some different gifts just in case you don't know that one or two, like Christina does. And I don't know if I know my number two. My number one is definitely quality time. So I'm excited to go through these different type of gifts that we're going to teach people about. And actually the first one can be time. So when I think about like if you want to think about gifting yourself time, this might be saying no to something that drains you. Remember, go back to the episode limiting your invites. It might be giving yourself permission to rest
Yeah.
or carving out time for something you love.
Like, something active and fun.
Right, like, when I think of that for a quick moment, I think about and this may not be a time thing, but I love it's something that you make part of your daily morning, Christina, and it brings you joy, and I had the honor of, like, doing it with when I was there in Minnesota, but you will walk your 2 beautiful puppies in the morning.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what was I doing then? Is it still my routine?" Yes, every morning, my dogs and I have this little loop that we do. We just actually did it before I logged on here, and it's so much fun. Like, they walk ahead of me. I am not My dogs are not well trained. Truth, okay? So they aren't like the good dogs that the trainer teaches you to walk next to you despite having lots of training. I'm the bad dog owner. But I love watching their 2 butts ahead of me and their, like, little tails, like, so happy. And I'm
Yes.
like, "Life is good. Their tails are going." Yes. And, it's so funny. I think I've mentioned before, and so Helene and I have a huge fan, which is Ethan's Uncle Harvey. So shout out to Uncle Harv. And anyway, one of the things that he loved is he had 2 Goldens that he walked, and they're now in doggy heaven, which is hard, but he every day took them for walks. And so he's kind of I often think of him when I'm putting their leashes on. I'm like, "Aw," you know, he's inspirational. So I
I
love
love that.
and that is time is it's funny because Julie always says to me, like, "Are you taking time to rest? Are you taking time to rest?" And for her, time is resting, time is quiet, time is sitting and reading a book, time is
Mhm.
relaxing for her. For me, that sitting still thing honestly, like, stresses me out and builds my anxiety. I have to
Right, me too.
be moving. I don't sit still well unless I'm, like, working on something.
So no wonder why that's not one of your one or 2.
Mm-mm,
Right.
isn't. I mean, I like doing things with people, but
Yeah.
I like yeah. And, I would say too, like, it's not abnormal that gifting yourself evolves.
Mhm.
Like, I
I was just
grew up
thinking that.
in kind of a my parents were not, like, super active social people, like, they had their group of friends that they saw, like, once a week,
Right.
but we weren't, like they didn't plot out weekends nonstop.
Mm.
And then I married Ethan, who does not sit still, doesn't even know how to sit still. Like, he goes constantly and then just, "Oops, I fell asleep," and his mom said he's been that way
Mhm.
since he was born. So, I evolved, and now,
Mhm.
like, sitting still with nothing to do, I will text Julie and be like, "I don't know what to do with myself. What do I do with myself?" She's like, "You could rest," and I was like, "Oh, that's horrid. Like, who does that?"
Right, it's changing the narrative that when you're sitting and resting, rather than saying, I think, "What should I be doing?" Accepting I am doing.
Yeah, and I work with patients all the time that, like, genuinely at their core, resting is relaxation for them. Resting is a gift to themselves. Totally
Mhm.
love that. I will 200% support that.
Yes.
I also know for me, it's not my fit.
Right.
And that's what I think it is like figuring out what are your gifts? What do you need? Which I feel like leads us the best to experiences. Like maybe it's, a coffee date or a downloadable course on December 1st. Or,
Which is all about an experience.
yeah. Just this week, I actually gifted to myself. My son's in Spanish immersion. And his teacher through our community is doing, like, a Spanish conversation group for grown-ups,
Oh,
and
cool.
it's just 2 conversations, and I was like, "I wanna go to that."
Mhm.
And so I went, and it was so much fun. I haven't done like a Spanish conversation group since college.
How
It was
lovely.
nerve-wracking. I was like, past tense verbs, what are you?
Yeah.
But in the same token, like I was like, it expands my brain and it's fun and like the people in it were delightful.
I've had several women like over the last couple years who have chosen for very different reasons to like leave an unhealthy relationship. And with that became this kind of initial oomph of like finding who I am. And another little teaser, we're going to have an episode coming up soon, The Gift of Refinding or Finding Yourself. But they were so interested and aligned in that mission of finding out who they were outside of this relationship while also grieving it, but allowing themselves the space to do it. So, like, they were open to the idea if I said, let's go on like meetups.com and would there be a painting class or like a walk and talk? So they allowed themselves to kind of interview life and get in connection with what they like. So when it goes back to if time's not your thing and you're thinking about experiences, maybe it is signing up for an art class. Maybe it is going to a Spanish immersion conversation class. Maybe it is getting a weekend away, but allowing yourself to be like, if I'm not really not sure if I give to myself experiences, I don't even know where to start. You might look at something at meetups.com or what's in your local area and just allow yourself to interview different things, and then again, notice how you feel while doing them.
Yeah. And I really want women to move past the guilt that comes with gifting yourself a physical item. Like, women feel so crappy if they buy themselves something that they deem luxurious. Even if
Mhm.
it's just like a cozy blanket, they're like, "Oh, I shouldn't have bought that for myself." And I'm here to like call bullshit loud and clear on that. You will gift to everybody else. You will make sure your child has everything they need and want if you're able to, that your partner does, that your parents do, that your sister or brother, like you care for everybody and you will hands down buy anybody a gift who you want to give to. And then you're like, oh, but I don't need it.
Or I find a lot of times, it's not only women, but oftentimes women, the guilt comes from, well, if I buy something for me, then am I taking away from someone else? And it goes back to so often what Christina teaches us that the trickle effect that when you have connection of feeling taken care of, joy, happy. The trickle effect is that it can embrace happier experiences with your family, with your coworkers. So gifting yourself something tangible and really enjoying it, whether it's that cozy blanket, whether it's a bouquet of flowers, like
Yeah.
you can buy yourself flowers, ladies, on Friday. Like if you're in Publix or that's where we go shopping here in Fort Myers often, like, and you see a beautiful bouquet, gift themselves to you because the moment you buy them and then you keep seeing those flowers and the growth and how you feel, think about the beam that then your family will feel or how you are going to show up in other relationships. So, yes, let's change that narrative.
That's something that I'm really working on. As y'all know, we were just in Europe over the summer and I bought myself something special. And my
Mm.
two girlfriends in Florida, they're like, "What did you get?" Like, so I was showing her something special.
Right.
And like instantly, my best friend goes, "You are not allowed to feel guilt about this. I am not allowing you to do that because you are the queen of
Mhm.
whenever you do something for yourself or buy something for yourself, you instantly feel like it's taking away from others." And it's not. Like, it's not like my kids are going without food. It's not like, you know,
Right.
my kids don't have what they need for school or, our mortgage didn't get paid or anything. It's nothing like that.
Right.
She's like, "So just stop and appreciate that you can gift yourself something." And I would challenge women, like, how many times did we watch our mothers do that or our grandmothers do that? Like, be like, "Oh, we don't need it. We don't need it. We don't need it."
Mhm.
And I think it's important to be smart financially. And
Sure.
if it's like, if you're not in a place financially that you can do it, then don't do it right now, right? Or buy yourself something smaller that you love. But if you can afford it and you're in a place to do it and don't accept that guilt.
Right. Take the gift from Christina's best friend. Like
Yeah.
we can spread that gift. to all of us because if you are like Christina and she had either the idea, the knowing, the looking for it, and you've already bought it, girlfriends, enjoy it. You've already had it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's funny because when I brought it home, I, like, put it in my closet, and I was like, "Okay." And then Savea, like, said to me, she's like, "Mom, when are you gonna use it? Mom, when are you gonna use it?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And I've started.
Our kids notice everything. I love that.
Oh, she's on me. Are you kidding me?
So, if tangible items may not be your thing, perhaps it could be something like health and wellness. So, when you think about that, you may think of things about moving your body, right? Like, if you think life is so busy, I have 10,000 loads of laundry, but I promise you, none of you are going to allow your family to go to work or school naked or, like,
I
I
just
have
got a
to,
mental image, that's hilarious.
I always,
Everybody, like, walking out of the
well,
house,
I
like, with their
know.
briefcases and their backpacks, and they're, like, in their birthday suit.
Well, I always say, especially, and maybe it was me saying it to myself, like, if they don't have the best dinner or if I don't have all the laundry done, and finally I'm like, no one's going to work or school starving and naked. Like, at the end of the day, like, they're going to have something close. They may not have like the most amazing meal, but they're going to be fed. We're all going to be around the table. So I had to like go through that narrative. But think about moving your body. If nourishing meals is something that is taking care of you, think about how that would happen and see if you can make that happen or a good night's sleep.
Mhm.
Go back to the episode with Maggie and the gift of perimenopause. She really gave us that beautiful gift of a good night's sleep and how she recognized she needed that. She gifted it to herself and the impact it's had on her life and her relationships. You may need to schedule an appointment that you have been putting off because, like Christine and I always say, we know you have made appointments for your kids to get their braces. We know they have had their physicals. You got their forms in before school.
Mhm.
When's the last time that you made your dentist appointment? Are you behind in your mammogram appointment? It's almost October, girlfriends, and I'm telling you, I know it's not the fun thing to do. It's like the Tylenol, like mash and stash. I get it.
Nobody wants their ladies
Right, mashed.
sabotaged.
But we want you to be healthy and we want you to keep having it's your birthday. So if
Right.
you have a health appointment, gifting yourself health and wellness, get the information that you need about your body. Okay, I'm done with that little rant.
No, I love that rant because it's so true, and that's something, Helene, that I would actually say you've really motivated me on. Since Helene and I have been working together, like, I've gone to the doctor, I've worked through, like, all my GI issues. I learned that, you know, I'm a stuck-up bitch, but anyway, there's my medical diagnosis, just kidding. But it's true, but Helene inspired me. She was like, "Make the appointments, figure it out, get to the bottom of it." And I did, and it was like those solutions were, like, so simple, and I'd been suffering for, like, 20 years with this literal shit, that I don't have to anymore. And that was an inspiration of gifting to myself and Helene saying, "Get it done." Like, she pushed me, not in a, like, mean, hard way, but in a, like, loving
I
friend.
love you and I want you to be healthy and you should have your best life and you're
Right,
struggling, you're not feeling well.
right. I was feeling like shit all the time, no matter what I ate. And then I learned, and now I'm like, "Oh, simple,
Yeah.
simple." And I think too, like, one of the things that we give ourselves is personal growth. It was so interesting. I was just, I was doing the Insta scroll last night. And somebody said, I saw like a meme or a like quick little short, which was like, and I'm gonna totally butcher how cute it was, but essentially it was like, yes, I go to therapy because just like I go and fine tune my body by working out,
Mhm.
I also fine tune my mind by going to therapy.
Yeah.
And therapy is like my mental workout.
I love that.
And I was like, wow, could you imagine if we saw mental health as the equivalent to going to the gym or going to your primary care physician
Yeah.
or going to your OB and, like whatever. Like, wouldn't that be incredible? And what a happier, calmer place our entire world would be.
Absolutely.
I love that. So,
Yeah.
absolutely, personal growth is that. And, we we firmly obviously believe in therapy or we wouldn't be here.
Yes.
We see it as powerful. We watch patients every day transform and heal and walk out lighter, walk out with more direction and purpose, walk out with more joy. And not
Yeah.
to say they don't also like have hard stuff going on in
Yeah,
life.
the messy middle.
Yeah, that's when they come to us. But I some of the most incredibly motivated and amazing people walk through the door of my office,
Same. Yeah.
and they're
It's
so inspirational.
it is. Yeah. So remember, your gifts do not need to look like anyone else's. You have
Yes.
an amazing girlfriend who she thrives with tangible items and you love experiences. The gifts that you know you need, they just need to serve you. So, Christina, I think we're really good at like we always commit to leaving them some gifts. So, I don't know, let's bring it a little bit. Like, how do you recognize what you need?
I think, one of the things that I do is one of those moments where I'm really tired and I'm like, "Ugh, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep going, right?" And I will sit with myself for like a hot minute, maybe it's a hot 30 seconds, just depending on the pace of my day. And I will
Right.
say, like, what do I feel like I need in this moment
Mhm.
and long term? And,
Mm,
some might look at it as what am I craving right now? Or what is it that, will fill me up in this moment? Sometimes it's coffee, won't lie.
mhm,
But it can also be, on a different scale. Is it rest? Is it going for a walk? Is it a creative moment? The other night I like hit a brain freeze on a report and I was like, I just need creativity. And I went on Canva and created like the header for our newsletter with our awesome speaker. So, it might just be that. Or is it connection? Do you need coffee with a friend? Do you need dinner with a friend?
yeah.
And my guess is if you trust your gut, if you trust your core,
Mhm.
your mind and body is going to tell you.
Right. It's just committing to, I love what you said. It's pausing and listening. So if you think about if a girlfriend said to you, "Wow, I'm going through something and I'm not really sure what it is. Do you have a moment that we can kind of like hash it out?" I almost guarantee that you would make that time. So it's that little knock or maybe that huge knock like I got 9 years ago. Hey, Helene, I had something to tell you. I didn't listen. Do better. Learn from us. So if you have something in your body telling you, your body, your emotions could already be having an idea. So some things that you could ask some additional questions like Christina shared, she always says, I'm the one who likes the journaling prompt. So here we go. What feels missing in my life now? What would make me feel lighter, happier, or calmer this week? And the last one you might explore, what's the one way I can give to myself? And take along that gift from Christina's friend. We're dropping the guilt. So, those might be some things that if you get stopped in your track, listening to your gut, that you can explore.
And if that feels overwhelming or you're not a journaler, because
Mhm.
I'm not, maybe, simply it's just a small daily, weekly self gift. One of the things I have is a positive app, and every day it gives me like a positive affirmation.
Oh,
And
I
that's
love
just a super small gift I give to myself. Maybe it is 10 minutes of silence for you. Maybe it's a warm cup of tea. Maybe it's just sitting down on the couch and letting yourself feel your super soft blanket.
Mhm.
We also love the idea of creating a gift fund in your budget.
Mhm.
This isn't a gift fund for everybody else. That's a separate line item on the Excel spreadsheet, friends.
There you go.
This is a line item that's gift fund for you. And like my friend said, no guilt attached. And I will tell you that going to Europe, I saved extra money knowing full well that I was going to gift my daughter something really special and gift myself something really special. So it wasn't like a spontaneous of like, holy crap, I just spent a lot of money. For me, it was a lot of money. But I planned and prepared for it, knowing full well where we were going, that this was something that was on my bucket list. And that's key. So put that money in your budget And when you're going to do it, now let me tell you, friends, this isn't your go to emergency account. No, no, no. Rainy day fund is also a separate line item. And it doesn't need to be big. Like, it could be $10 a month, it could be $10 a week, depending on your finances. But creating a gifting to me ritual is key. And if you're having guilt about it, here's a reframe for you. If you gift to yourself, then you have more to give to others. If this feels like so uncomfortable, awkward, you listen, but really you want to shut us off right now because you're like, I can't do this.
Right.
We got you. And we
Right.
are going to challenge you because you can do this. You absolutely can.
And like Christina shared, it doesn't have to be big. I remember when I was going through treatment like 9 years ago, quick little story before we kind of end with some fun stuff for you. So in my situation, like I would have chemo like every other week, and then like a couple days later, you have to go and get your blood work and get a shot to kind of boost your immune system. And my husband was organizing like a good friend who might take me. And one of them is a beautiful friend who had her own story about 5 years ago and is now completely on the other side and doing great. But I remember one time she took me to the appointment. We get back in the car and we're going home. And she's like, Ryan said I should take you to go get something. Now, at that point, it was like whatever, because we were trying to keep my weight up. I was like 108 pounds at the point. So he's like, just take her. Like, get her whatever she wants to eat. Like, I don't care. I didn't want to eat anything. But just the idea that he was like, so what happened is that I went to a doctor's appointment, which was like kind of yucky. I didn't want to go, but he said, go take her for something. And I will tell you, since that time, 9 years ago, whenever I have a doctor's appointment, and again, it's not like my yearly thing, seeing the oncologist, whatever doctor it is, whether I'm going to the dentist, I'm going for a physical, I gift myself going to get really good coffee.
Mm.
So I have just made that a ritual and it totally changes. And if I have any anxiety or discomfort or just that like rumbling, I don't want to be at the doctor's office, I focus on the gifts and the connection that I'm going to have after the appointment, my hands around the warm coffee, smelling what I want, taking that full sip and gifting myself. So it doesn't have to be big, but it could be something that can make you feel good, recognize you're taking care of yourself, and committing to doing it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, for those of us raising girls, whether you are a direct parent of one or you're a parental figure or whatever, like,
Mhm.
friends, we need to model this for our younger generation. And I think our younger generation is honestly better at modeling it for us. Like, they do a freaking phenomenal job of reminding us that we need to do this. So, my challenge to
Yes.
you, friends, is this isn't an optional, this is a must. One, to be
Mhm.
a good role model. Two,
Yeah.
to realize that you deserve as well. And three, to be the best you can be for everyone else around you if you don't like self care.
Love that. So woohoo! Oh my gosh. We did it, friends. If you started this episode with a pang of that guilt would set in, we truly hope it was challenged. Remember always, gifting to yourself equals an act of love that strengthens you. Our challenge to you this week is gift yourself or choose one gift solely for you. Share what you did on our social pages. Remember, this community builds as much as you allow it to. And you doing that, Christina just gave that huge gift, modeling for others. So go on our Instagram, go on our Facebook when this episode drops and be like, hey, I listened to it and I did the thing. And this is what I did because it might help another girlfriend in our community. They saw that you did it and it will help give that permission slip or spark that space inside of them.
Mm.
Remember, our gifts on the couch drop on Mondays. And friends, we have something dropping very soon. Remember, Christina told you on December 1st, we are launching our very first course, and it is all about gifting to you. But there's going to be some things that you can get ahead of time. So to find out what those are, Jump into yourbirthdaypodcast.com and sign up. Until next week, friends, happy gifting and happy birthday.
Happy birthday, friends. Gift to yourself. Love you.